Welcome to another episode of the Neoliberalism podcast. I have with me a young lady who I've been trying to get on the show for a while, and she happens to be chilling here with me, and I decided to just pull her in a conversation real quickly. We also have our co-host and one of our co-producers who hasn't been on the show for a while, but he's been behind the scenes working with us. That's Dante Nelson. We are all here.
Hey guys, I'm here.
Yes, and Sandrea, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going?
Well, I mean, it's everything is well, but we've been trying to get you on the podcast, and I have so many questions for you. But it's going to be a very quick podcast because one, I'm doing a podcast series looking at the mayor's race. How involved, how aware are young people in Philadelphia on this mayor's race? And I did interview a young man, and I want to get your opinion. But there's another thing I wanted to interview you about, but this podcast is not for that. That's for another day. We will say, and probably that's going to be a video podcast. This one is an audio, because the video one is going to be about you. What's that thing called, Dante, that she is very good at?
Research.
No, yeah, she's good at research. I mean, by the way, we are talking about her, and she's right here. But I'm sorry, guys. We'll have her.
I don't even know what I'm good at.
No, but there is, communication is to make popular what was the monopoly, and by that I mean there are things that she know that I don't know. Okay, as much as people have different technicalities and skills. There's something that she knows, and I can't remember the name of it. There's something that you know and that you are good at. Is it astrology?
I am good at astrology.
Is it
so
that's what it is? Or the other astronomy, astrology?
Astrology, yeah.
Is that's what it is?
It is astrology.
And when you are, I'm Jamaican,
Mm-hmm.
and in our culture, in our home, it's not a big thing. We're very religious, we're very Christian. Father's a pastor, mother's a pastor. I mean, and in the Jamaican culture, Jamaica is a Christian country, conservative, mainly Orthodox Christian country, and it's one thing they do not embrace is, in my home, they didn't teach me or expose us to astrology. In fact, they think that's a sin.
Like spirituality.
Yeah, it's a sin. It is against the Christian faith. It's against Christian theology. They don't. I mean, of course, Christian theology. I mean, that's certain kind of theology. So, I know I've been talking to you about this. I know you've been reading and studying for years. The stars. Is it the stars?
It is the star.
Yeah, okay, there we go. See, and all I know is I'm Gemini. Gemini means that
You are a Gemini.
you have another. I have a twin somewhere. That's what they say, and you have a twin somewhere else, right?
Uh-huh.
And I'm an identical twin or identical opposite. So I'm a Gemini, and I should not have been born in June. I should have been born in September, October. But I was born in Gemini as a twin, and so it's kind of weird. So,
Wow.
is that an astrological? Does that provide any kind of astrological importance?
Honestly, I feel like we all, we basically all are wrong when I'm gonna say wrong because that's my choice, but I feel like we're all wrong when it comes to our astrology signs because originally they're supposed to be 13 months,
Yeah.
so our birth year is not technically our birth year, if you add that extra month.
Yes.
So we're, I think, a month before. So
Yeah.
if you're saying that you're supposed to be September.
That was the opening or the beginning of the interview or the rap session I had with Sandrea, and in the background, of course, Mr. Dante Nelson. We will continue with the powerful and quite interesting and insightful conversation I had with Sandrea on spirituality, astrology, and what should the mayoral candidates address? What issues should the Philly Mayoral candidates address? A young woman, and she has an opinion as in terms of what should be done to help improve Philadelphia. and we also have an intense and amazing conversation about spirituality, quite in depth. That's what's coming up next. We will continue with the conversation. But before that, we have the intro music, and then we get right back into the conversation with Sandrea Cashay Nelson. Welcome back to the episode. Let's pick up from where we left off with Sandrea Cashay Nelson.
Or you said September,
I should have
right?
been born. I was supposed to be born in September, October, but I was born in June.
Right. So, like
So,
I told
6
you,
months.
our months are basically squeezed together, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Like instead of us having that whole year, we're squeezed in. So I feel like, honestly, what we think we are, we not quite
Yeah.
what we think we are. So like I say, I'm a Virgo, but I don't believe that that's really our signs, if that makes sense. We're like literally a month behind our
Yes.
actual month,
Yes,
our
yes,
birth
yes.
month. So it's just a whole lot into it.
We won't talk much. Okay, but let's table the discussion for another
Yeah.
one, because we're gonna have a
Lot.
video podcast or YouTube. We have a YouTube channel, The Neoliberal by
Okay.
Ronaldo McKenzie, and we're on YouTube. We haven't done a YouTube video show in a while. So the next show we will do, we will have a video show, and we will invite Sandrea to talk with us about the science and what she studies. And
I'll be there.
I'm interested to know about it because your mom is a Christian.
Yes.
But are you a Christian?
No, I consider myself spiritual.
You are spiritual.
Spiritual.
And you study astrological events.
Astrology.
And you study astrology.
Pretty
and for
much,
you
energy. Basically anything that has to do with the earth itself, Mother Nature, the things around us, person to person. I more so go off of that because I feel like it's an alignment thing. What you put out into the world is what you receive. So that's.
Listen, we're going to get into this with her. We're going to interview her probably a 30, 40, 45 minutes to an hour interview. And as you know, I'm doing a doctorate at Georgetown. I'm writing a book. I'm writing several books. The second book is Neoliberal Globalization Reconsidered, Neo-Capitalism and the Death of Nations. That is it's being read by Haymarket, a major publisher. Hopefully they publish it. But there's another book I'm working on, Secrets to Unlocking Divine Intervention.
Mm-hmm.
Secrets to Unlocking Divine. And I say to people, unlocking divine, okay, I subscribe to the Judeo-Christian faith. That doesn't mean that I'm going to privilege my faith. The research I'm doing, I want to learn I want to learn about other people's understanding of their faith walk and how it is valuable to them, and the connections and the meanings that, and how valuable it is in their own life. So as I put together this volume, this work I'm working on, Secrets to, I'm going to share my experience, how God has intervened in my life, using from a Judeo-Christian perspective. But I want to hear, there are people there are people who they have Hindus.
Mm-hmm.
There's just one guy who studies cow worship, one of the owners of Espresso Bar, the Germantown Espresso Bar. I want to learn, tell me about this cow worship. How valuable, how important is that in your own journey? How is that, and what connections is that to the ultimate? And of course, for you now, I want to hear about your experience,
Mm-hmm.
and how important that is in your own life.
So Honestly, when you put it into one perspective,
Yes.
I'm gonna say that although we all share different beliefs and different values when it comes to a higher power,
Mm-hmm.
um, I definitely feel like when you think about it,
Yes.
it all falls to one thing. That's all.
Wow.
It's
Yes.
all
Yes.
one
Yes.
thing. No matter how you look at it, we all
Yes.
have something or someone that we look up to, in the time of need, or in the time of crossroads, stuff
Yes.
like that. We
Yes.
all have that one,
Yes.
person that we look up to. But at the same time, I'm sure people would have their own reasons for why they
Mm.
believe in what they believe in, which
Yes.
is good
Yes.
because that keeps you moving. It keeps
Yes.
you alive. It keeps you. Your belief is what actually keeps you living.
Mm.
But ultimately, and it's funny because I just had this conversation with someone,
Yes.
and it stems to, if you ask a person of Hindu
Yeah.
or Christian or Catholic, if you all ask them what has this divinity done for you,
Yeah.
to make you believe, or so and so, and they'll all say, well, when I was down and out and I was at my lowest,
Yes.
I called to them and they came through,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and in any kind of way they came through and they helped me get through this moment.
Mm.
I think that's the one thing that we share in common.
Yes. Yes.
Everyone
Yes.
shares that. You go
Yes.
to a Christian, you ask them that, they'll say the same thing that the Hindu person then just
Yes.
said.
Yes.
Same thing that the Muslim person then said. All different gods, but they all do the same
Yes.
thing, and that is important.
And I think that and I think it is important. It's amazing. It's beautiful. But I think the problem comes when people start to privilege their beliefs, when they start to privilege, and of course, I'm studying
Good.
power, privilege, positions, and status in the development of human society. I'm studying that, and I talk about the foundations of knowledge and the hegemony of faith. You know, people, God, people experience the divine in their own context, in their own way,
Yeah.
and that is unique and that is amazing. But then I start to say, oh no, this is, you should follow me, you should, no, you should come, no. That is the problem.
Mhm.
And then I will make it into a business and a franchise.
Right.
Yes.
That
But
is.
what powerful, we will talk some more about it because I want to get into astrology some more, get into what it is, and how you relate to it, how you practice it. I want to understand it some more. We want to get into, okay.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yes, we'll be right back after these messages. We're having a quick rap session with someone who will be joining us for a show, a special show that looking at astrology. But you know, when we talk about astrology, Sandra doesn't have a PhD, and she's not a graduate of Penn or whatever. But that's not what is important for me as an anthropologist. Okay, as an anthropologist, it's not about PhD and doctorate. It is, because you've been studying this for the past 5 6 7 years. Okay, you have been studying this, and it affects you at, yeah, and you've been living it. So I want to get your perspective. Okay, and your perspective is, other people may relate to it, and they may find some value in it, and I want to share that. Okay, I want to understand it as well, as I think about all things. How can, we think about society where the neoliberal is about serving the world today to self the most child. I interviewed some people, Kemetic spirituality. In fact, in Germantown up the street, there's a group of people that practice Kemetic spiritual, the Asset Society, right down here in Germantown, and they practice Kemetic spirituality, which is an old time religion stemming from Egypt. If you study Egyptology, so and I find it quite powerful when I sit down and spoke with the priests and I interviewed them for the neoliberal on there. I think one of the season 2 or season 3 they were on here. So and they were powerful. I found it quite powerful. Many people could relate to that. I want to hear your story, and I can't wait to share your story with the world, and how you relate to this ultimate in your own way, looking at astrology and energy and so on and so forth. Okay. By
Look
the way,
forward to it.
you live in Philadelphia. You don't mind me. You are still under 30.
Yes, I
By the
am.
way, she looked like she's about 19. Beautiful as ever. Very
Yes.
beautiful, amazing woman. She's amazing. And tell me, I want to ask you, do you know? Are you? Do you know? Tell me what? How aware are you, and how involved are you in this mayor's race? Do you know when the mayor's race is?
So honestly, I haven't really been too into details with the mayor's race. I should be though. Let me say that. I should
Do
be.
you
So
plan to
I'm gonna
vote?
be following up with you, Ronaldo.
Yes, yes,
So keep me posted.
yes,
I'll read up on it as you go.
yes.
But I do plan
To
to
vote.
vote.
What are your major concerns? If let's say you're going to choose, but what are some of the main issues for you as for people your age group? You're in the you're a Gen Z.
My
You know.
biggest problem right now is the epidemic, the opioid epidemic.
Oh wow.
That's the biggest thing for me
Dante,
right
did
now.
you hear what she just said? Oh my God. Okay, go ahead.
That right there
Uh-huh.
is the biggest, and I feel like it's looked over. It's looked past. I don't feel like they're doing as much as they should to help the people that
Yeah.
are like, for instance, Frankfurt. If you are aware of Frankfurt, is terrible. It's it's just like what zombie land,
That's
And
Frankfurt, Kensington.
yes, Kensington, Frankfurt,
Yes.
Kensington, the Kensington area.
Yeah.
And I feel like as much as they put cops and stuff and they try to push people to be in their own section, they're not really helping them. They're pretty much just giving them their own town,
Yes.
like this is where you guys belong. And it's not right.
Yes. Listen, we're talking to Sandrea here, Miss Sandrea Nelson, in her 20s, mid-20s. But by the way, she look like she's 16. I'm telling you that. Beautiful. But she's a powerful young woman, and young people are very intelligent. They know, they have an idea in terms of what is going on in society. I spoke with a young man yesterday, and I asked him about, are you, just to test this, just to find out how involved, how aware young people are in this mayor's, with what's going on with this mayor's race and what's going on in Philadelphia. And he said he wasn't aware, he wasn't planning on voting, but now that he's had a conversation with me, now he's going to be reading, doing some research, and he plans to vote. He doesn't know all the candidates. I don't know all the candidates either, but I plan to do some more research around the candidates. Hopefully we'll have some of them on the show. But let me say, one of his concerns, apart from parking in the city, and you drive, but one of his concerns apart from parking was the opioid crisis. The same thing that you said, and what's going, and he mentioned Frankfurt, Kensington.
It's sad.
And he is about 19, about to be 20, in a freshman in college, and he says one of the concerns he has, and he hopes that the mayors will address it and the candidates will speak to the issue, is what's going on in Kensington, the opioid crisis. And you, as a young woman, is saying the same thing here, and you don't know this guy, you don't know Minard. Okay, and it's quite powerful that you are saying that. So that's a hot button issue, and that's one of the things that you want to hear from the candidates, how they plan to address the opioid crisis and what's going on in Kensington, Frankfurt, Philadelphia. Any other issue as a hot button issue?
That off the dome.
Yes.
What else?
But for you, that's the top button for you.
Yeah,
I know there are other
feel like
stuff
that's
you might
the
think, but you're not
off the
thinking
dome,
clearly.
Can't really think for right now.
Yes.
But
yes.
I'll have some more. You can, I'll have.
How has Philadelphia changed since you've lived? You're from Philadelphia. You were born here. How has it changed? Yes, and as it changed, yes.
Wow. Honestly, and the gun laws.
Yes.
I have a big problem with the gun laws.
Yes.
Yes, they are accessible, and I have no problem with them being accessible.
Yes.
Because protection is top priority. But it's just the illegal use of them that's the issue.
Yeah.
Why are so many people allowed to be accessible to the guns? You know, guns should be accessible to people, but the people should not be accessible to the guns. If I wanted the gun, I should be able to go through this and that and that, this
Yeah.
process to be able to retrieve it. But I shouldn't be able to go on the street and say, hey, let me
Yeah.
buy a gun. It shouldn't be, that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
So I think the gun restrictions should be put in play, and it need to be talked about a lot more.
Yeah.
I don't feel like they're doing much about it.
Oh, there we go. From the young people here talking, they have an idea. And I say to you, we need to sit down and have conversations with young people in community. One-on-one, small group. We don't have to have these big, elaborate conversations and frighten people. Okay, we can have one-on-one conversations. And if you want to hear what the young people are saying, continue to listen and stay tuned. In fact, subscribe to the Neoliberalism podcast. And Sandrea is going to join us later on again to do another show, and we will direct that one, basically talking about what we said earlier. And it was just a pleasure. Thank you so much, Sandrea.
Thank you for having me, Ren.
Yes, it was a pleasure, and hopefully one of these days you can co-host some shows with us. No, please. Guys, send us your feedback. Just so you know, I have an announcement. We have hit and we have surpassed the 5,000 mark. The Neoliberalism podcast has now over 5,000 plays, and we started in 2020. Was it 2020 or 2020? 2021. We started in 2021. We have over 185, almost 200 episodes, and we have cutting edge episodes, and we bring you some of the best information, the best commentary, the best news, amazing stories, and which is sometimes humorous. And we just want to thank you for those of us who have been with us from day one. Thank you so much. And subscribe to the show, send us your feedback, share the show with your friends, and listen to us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Radio Public, Podvine, P-Adverb, Pocket Cast, Outcast, Google, so on and so forth, Spotify, and of course, and Anchor.fm, which is now Spotify for podcasters, I believe. Support us. Donate to the show. You can donate. You can donate to us any amount. We go to anchor.fm/theneoliberal/report. Okay, and or go to anchor.fm/theneoliberal, and it will come up. But it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for supporting us, and we look forward to doing more shows, more powerful programming, and I want to thank Dante Nelson and for being a part of this show. Visit us at theneoliberal.com and RonaldoCMcKenzie.com. What good? By the way, it would be remiss of me to end the podcast without informing you and giving credit where credit is due. The background music is courtesy of our platform, Podcasters for Spotify, or Spotify Podcasters. Background music, Plum King. We featured that background music today. Quite powerful. I really liked it. I discovered it today while under Whimsical. Dante. I that Plum King. I love. And if you like the background music that we have, let me know if you like that, especially this one, Plum King. I think we ended with Plum King. This one is Vinyl Couch, and then the beginning, our regular music background in the beginning was Third Rule, and then after that it was the Cedia Valga. Of course, interlude is in the back. In the background was part of the interlude music. Swapping tube. Cedia Valga, yeah, that's news and politics. Your sister Sandrea find it scary, but I guess the news is scary, and our commentary is quite powerful. Yes. Indeed, indeed, indeed. So, anyways, but I just had to. In this, we've never done this before, but it's my first time actually saying, talking about the background music, and I must say, give Spotify and the platform, Spotify podcast, this platform. I must say that they do a very good job in terms of the cadre, the cachet of background music that you can choose from to accentuate, yes, the listening experience of our listeners here on the podcast. So kudos to Spotify, kudos to the Spotify podcasters platform. Very good job. I love it, and the interlude music as well that they provide, and of course our favorite is Cedia Valga, and of course, I didn't use static drum line in this episode today. We didn't use the static drum line. Yes. But if you like the background, let us know. Let us know about it. And please send us your feedback and email us. Send us a voice message. This is the Neoliberal Rome podcast by Ronaldo McKenzie, and with me is Dante Nelson. What good?